Hey, everybody! Welcome to Tavern Talk. Talk.
Yay.
Tavern Talk. Not Tavern Knights. That's our game. But yeah, this is the game where we sit around, a bunch of us from the game, sit around and talk about the game itself and Dungeons and Dragons in general. And I guess we're coming through loud and clear because I just heard it on Renee's.
Yep. Sorry about that. I realized the audio on my phone was at 100%.
Yeah, so we sit around and talk about D&D and our game. We don't have a lot to talk about with the game this time because there wasn't a lot of game last week and a half ago.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that it was. We started late. We had difficulties all night long, and then it got to the point where we had to call it about over an hour and a half early, almost.
Yeah.
Really about a half.
It was technical difficulties that were out of our control.
Yeah, it was all stuff with the audio, video, and the servers that were out on the web, and then other issues. It was a combination between that and the way that Forge was interacting with them, I think. So because everyone kept losing audio, kept losing video. It was a mess. Definitely our worst case so far, even with the one where we lost an hour, where everything crashed. That wasn't our fault either. That was also on Forge's side. But I love Foundry. I like what the guy's doing with Forge. I just think he needs some help. Or
make it his priority.
Yeah, or make it the. I mean, he is doing a lot of work on it. But yeah, it definitely needs to be more of a full-time thing versus just a once in a while thing.
When that
was
set up, was it set up through like a Kickstarter of any kind, or
I don't think so.
Crowdfunding? I mean, he really should. If to take it to the next level for stabilization and maybe grow it, I honestly think that if going for a Kickstarter, it would make a decent amount that could be invested into solidifying it.
He might have done a Kickstarter. I'm not sure. I just realized it.
I just know obviously the D&D community is alive and well and very large, and I think that there's a fair amount of people that would invest in.
Here we go. I was all cut off there. I didn't have the same ratio you guys did. So there. Now I'm fixed. So yeah, it's a shame that I mean it is. I think it's got potential. I just think that it needs some more work. And I'm hoping that he can get it worked out because I still want to use it for my other game, even though this is the big thing, is that we are looking at getting back together in the basement for our next game. We are not going to actually play our game this Friday. Sorry about that. If Russ wasn't here, somebody had to have their phone make noise. But we are not playing our game this Friday. I'm going to try and get everything set up in the nerd basement so that we can actually be ready to play in 2 weeks on the 27th, I think it is. Yeah, because this is Friday the 13th. Do we really want to play on Friday the 13th anyway?
Yes.
You're not even going to be here. So
no, I'm not. But it's the one day we would have no technical difficulties because that's how it goes.
And unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss this Friday.
So we had two people missing.
I'm too. I'm going to be in Wisconsin.
Oh wow! Okay.
So that's enough to make me call it.
Bowser shirt.
Ah, thank you. It says "like a boss."
Nice. Sorry, I got distracted by Bowser.
Okay. But yeah, it's we with two people missing. That's half the group right now.
Yeah.
So, so I wasn't gonna do it with just Russ and Rich. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and do a game night if I can get the basement set up the way that I need to, and then we can actually test all the cameras and stuff out, and even stream some of the game, at least some of the game, Friday night, and see how things go.
Send Octavian and Maricaris out on a pilgrimage together that they have to complete for their churches.
Okay, that's great. Except you guys are in the middle of like 5 different things
know.
right now, and I don't see them just wandering off.
I know.
While you have all this other stuff going on.
This is true.
There is also the possibility of me introducing a new player and character coming up. So
It'd be wonderful. It'd be nice to have more on the quote unquote table again.
yeah, and then this will give me a couple more weeks to actually get his character made and get him up to speed and hopefully get a time to introduce him to everybody, anyone that doesn't really know him. I think everyone's met him. But
Probably. At the very least, I met him at the wedding.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes over the next couple of weeks. I still got to double check with him, make sure that he's still interested. It's been a couple of weeks since I talked to him about it. So
yeah, and it's a commitment.
Yep.
That with what we're looking for and moving forward with it.
Yep.
But really excited for anyone to be able to join up since we lost nearly half of our group over the course of the last year or so.
Yeah, and that sucks. But I mean, shit happens. That's the problem that's part of the problem with gaming as an adult. One of the things, and we can talk about this too. So one of the big issues that you have gaming as an adult is time schedules. When you're a kid, you don't have the time commitments. Even in high school.
You go to school, you come home,
yeah,
you do homework, and you go to bed.
Well, some people
That's
did.
Your life.
Some people did homework. I played D&D, but it's but yeah, and even when you got into high school and there was work and things like that, you were still only working part-time, and it was still easy to get together with your friends, and plus you were pretty much invincible and could stay up all night if you wanted to. And still get up on 3 hours sleep and function the next day.
Yeah, in my 20s I could do that. I cannot now.
Yeah, I mean, my teens, we used to actually do all night games where we would get together and start playing at 6 o'clock at night on a Saturday and play until noon on Sunday.
Wow,
Jeez. That's a long time to sit.
Oh, I mean, we had breaks. I mean, we took like food breaks and things like that. I mean, somebody show up with a case of Jolt Cola and
yeah.
And we'd order like a bunch of like 8
even...
pizzas so that we'd have pizza all night long. And
oh God, and it'd get cold.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then you have it for breakfast the next day.
Fine. Cold pizza's more than fine. Yeah.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. It's fine.
No, sirs. Gross.
I'd rather have cold pizza than like warm, like soft pizza.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
Okay, now that is weird because
I rather have.
Well, I would not. I can't stand microwave pizza, so it's cold.
No,
it's cold or oven baked. I will reheat pizza in an oven.
I would rather have cold pizza than microwave it.
Yes. I agree.
See, I'm fine with like gooey microwave pizza, but I would much rather have fresh.
No, it's too chewy.
Yeah.
But gooey's one of my favorite textures.
It's not gooey though. It's chewy. There's a difference.
6-1.
It's like broken down and it. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
But then, like bags of Funyuns and Doritos and all that too, and you just sit up, you drink a bunch of pop.
Funyuns and Coke.
Funyuns and Mountain Dew were my thing, but
see what I did instead of D&D, like Rich and I would play like online gaming, like Final Fantasy 11 online, or like Counter-Strike or something like that. Is what we did exactly. You described it, like all night long, day defeat, or like with like a 2 liter of cola next to you and like a pizza that you're snacking on, and just go all night long in the middle during college days. I wish that I had D&D back then and knew about it, and I'm sure that college had groups that were available that I could have joined up. It was just something that I was unaware of.
I used to go to a gaming convention at Oakland University every year when I was in high school. That was put on by a bunch of college students that were gamers.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
The Order of Leibowitz, I think is what they called themselves.
Yeah, I never really was one to stay up all night and game. I did pump in a ton of hours into like Day of Defeat and TF2 and Vampire back before like the super beta on Facebook. And then I decided to graduate college in 3 years, so I concentrated on school, and I was hell-bent on doing it, so I'd stay up all night either studying, working, or finishing labs. Because I was that nerdy student. And I did not have fun in college. I was there to learn, and I got in and I got out.
Well, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
But
it was great. In one of my classes, the professor took us all out to dinner afterwards because it's one of the hardest classes in the bio program, and he wanted to buy everyone their first round, and I wasn't old enough to drink because I was the youngest person in class. And he's like, "You're a junior and you're taking my class?" I'm like, "Yep." It's like, "Wow, impressive, and you passed too." Thanks.
Yeah, so then once we hit our like 20s, guys started, well, even in late teens, a lot of us were starting to do dating and things like that, which then took up some of the time. And then you get into full-time jobs and things like that, along with relationships, and then people started having kids and things like that, and time just disappears. And you don't have time for gaming anymore. And a lot of people that I know took even several years off of gaming and didn't game for several years because they just didn't have the time. They had other priorities.
I remember early on in our relationship, we weren't even living together yet. And, we were making plans for the weekend. And I'm like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And you're like, "Well, I have game night with some buddies, but I could skip it." I'm like, No. Go hang out with your bros. I'll be here when you come back. Go. I don't want to be that girlfriend.
Yep.
So.
And there are some that I've known that have been no, I want you here.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen guys completely disappear when they get married.
That's lame. No. Yeah. That's just selfish.
Yeah. And my wife, Jamie, she's always been been very good about that. Like I said, back in college, playing like those games online, like you were mentioning, Renee, Day of Defeat, for example. Like I was part of a group, and I was one of the squad leaders, and we had like Sunday nights we had like a 1 hour, I forgot what system we used, basically just having like a phone call with the entire group, like all 30 of us, and I was one of the squad leaders, and it was like 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
Or Trillo, something like that.
In Trillo, yes.
In Trillo,
right.
yeah.
Wow. Vent.
Yeah.
That takes me back.
That takes me back.
So we would have little that was like Skype back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And we would talk about the week and the plans coming up, and being a leader, organizing our my group of 5 or 6, and I always told Jamie that I had to be back at my dorm or back at the house by 8:30 so I can be on my 9 o'clock call, and she was always very understanding about that, and she's been really great about scheduling for D&D as well.
Yeah, Ventrilo
was go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say Ventrilo and TeamSpeak were the big ones back in the day.
TeamSpeak as well.
We used both of those for EverQuest and World of Warcraft and stuff early on.
Yeah, I TF2, Team Fortress 2 was my big game in college. But I remember Pete, myself, and Richard would play Day of Defeat together.
And we would be using Vent or
Vent for that.
Yep.
Yeah. What was it? Gig No, Gig Bro, and Gig Sis?
Something like that, yeah. So Rich had this name that he took from the show Aqua Teen Hunger Force, if you're a fan of that show at all. And then
it's this long. It's a long ass name.
Yeah, and he shortened it, and then I and then when I kind of started joining up his group a little bit, and kind of just as the brother and then as the sister, we just kind of built off of Rich's names for fun. So.
Yeah, Gignawana Sonificon.
That's it.
That. Yeah.
Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Gigna not going to work here anymore.
Rich still uses that day for quite a bit of stuff.
I know he does.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, now that we're older and a lot of people have their kids are more grown up and things like that, there's more time to play. So, I mean, I've got our game, I've got a game I run once a month and a game that I play in once a month. So, I mean, I've got on average 4 games every month.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And some of them wind up falling because of the way the weeks fall. Like we just had 3 weeks in a row, or 3 weeks in July. And so now actually my games actually will be falling on the same weeks that I have my other games. Because we have those every other week. Because it's pretty much the same group. It's just I run one and a buddy of mine runs one. And the one big difference is that there's one person that's not in my game and there's one person in my game that's not in the other game, and that's Steve, who's over in Ireland. Okay. So, and that's why we still play online for that one. My buddy Jake's game, we play in person. So,
I love Steve, but God, I hate Shatteran. He is such an elitist prick.
He's a noble, and he plays the arrogant noble.
Oh yeah, he does.
Really?
Yeah.
And he plays him well. I love Steve, and I love the way I love Steve's portrayal of his character, but I hate his character. And my character hates his character.
He just does it very well.
She's a poor kid. Poor
Gotcha.
kid from the city. So.
Yeah. But anyway, so our last game, we had a lot of issues. Pretty much the only thing you guys did was went to the 2 temples.
Yeah.
That was really all you did for the game, and then decided that you were going to head out the gate that was right there by one of the temples and head up. Oh, yeah, that's right. You actually did go up into the woods.
We went in there, and then we had a battle.
Yep. Yeah, you got attacked by some bugbears.
Yep.
And actually, I have to say that even though it was kind of like a random encounter, for me personally, it was actually I actually had one of the most fun rounds that I think that I've had in the entire game so far. Like there was a time that right from the get-go, you had Octavian's character surrounded. Our cleric was surrounded by bugbears, just getting pummeled. It's
because he was leading the group.
Yeah,
I know, but he just went down to like single-digit health in one round because the way that our attack order was, I think that he got a couple hits in before he went, or I think that he was on the bottom or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, he had the lowest initiative of all of us, so he was like the last to go.
Yeah, and he was down, I think, close to single digits because you can just tell, like with the way that the bugbears were hitting, and they hit every single one, I think. And
yeah,
they didn't hit everyone, but they were hitting.
They were hitting hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't want the cleric to drop. First, we've had that happen before, and it's not like that one time when like we walked out of the tavern and like we got jumped by 2 what were they? Manticores and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And he dropped right away. That was not fun. So so when it came to my turn,
he pokes his head out and
it was kind of cool for Euchariah that he was able to use like a unique set of spells where he was able to like cast 3 and do some really cool things where I said, all right, I'm going to use like my Ring of Spell Storing, which has a healing word in it. And I heal. And so I heal, the wizard heals the cleric with a healing spell, which was pretty cool. And then that was a bonus action. And then I was able to use like my unique like transposition spell, which I purposely walked away from the battle to get away from it a bit, but then swap places with him because my plan was, that was using my action. And then I knew that I would probably most likely get attacked by everyone. So that's where I wanted to wait until the next attack, and I can throw up my shield and all of a sudden have a 23 AC for the next round, and I would be able to, I knew that chances are I would survive it and almost not get hit at all. But like doing that unique combination, it was a lot of fun for my character. I felt like, doing like 3 different spells and like trying to save the cleric and do something unique that hasn't been done yet in the game. So it was
It
actually
was also really cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
And
Like,
it was a dope dope ass move that you did there.
Dope wizard shit.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, when you swapped places with Octavian, I'm like, oh my god, Squishy Wizard, don't do that.
but I did that on purpose because I had mage armor on.
Bad wizard. Bad wizard.
But I was planning on throwing up. But throwing up shield adds 5 to my AC, so all of a sudden I got a 23 AC. I have the highest AC out of the entire group now for at least one round.
Yeah.
Not if Barakaris has Armor of Faith on.
Well, in that moment, then.
Yeah, and he actually had Armor of Faith on, I believe, at that point too, because he gets a 24 AC when he does that.
Gosh,
jeez,
that's intense. But for a wizard to have 23 is pretty darn.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's gonna be some gonna be some bigger stuff coming at you once.
Man, I just.
I gotta be able to hit. I gotta be able to hit Marikaris. So sorry.
The thing is I'm almost equally as squishy as you.
Yeah.
Like,
but that was my plan, was to swap it out and then wait until I can throw up my reaction shield and keep doing that if needed. Until I can get out, because it lasts for an entire round. It's not just like a one-time thing and something bounces off. It would last until my next turn. So I theoretically could just wait and like still stay and still throw it up again at the very next turn as my reaction, and keep that going for a little bit. So. For me, that was one of like my most fun times in terms of battle, of doing something so unique, and I was able to like cast 3 different things in one round. When sometimes it's like, all right, I cast Firebolt one more time because I really can't do much else at that time. But still, I even though it was a random encounter, it was a unique opportunity for me, and I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, that was super awesome and really smart.
And I've been waiting to use that benign transposition to be able to like swap places. That's a unique thing to be able to do. I can like Misty Step or like travel by myself, but that benign transposition, you can swap between any of the characters, no matter like I think up to large. I can swap as long as they're willing. That's why I'm like, Octavian, are you willing to move? And I'll like swap out.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be a good one too. I mean, I can see some potential uses for that. Definitely.
I've been waiting for a chance to actually do that. I meant to do it at one point when we were on the boat, because Octavian again was actually surrounded by like a bunch of those sea zombies or whatever that you threw at us. But
Sea Fallen.
Yeah, Sea Fallen. And I meant to do it then, but something kind of distracted me, and I think that he was able to take something down. And
he turned undead.
Oh, I think that maybe that's what it was. And then
he turned undead.
He wasn't at risk as much anymore, so I didn't need to do it to get him out of there. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was pretty much it, though. We pretty much finished after that fight because we battled our way through the fight against the Forge. So, that fight took way longer than it should have.
Yeah, because we decided to keep reloading.
Yep.
I honestly, I had very few problems. Like, me personally on the laptop down here, I didn't have any issues up until the very, very end.
I had very few, but every once in a while I would lose everybody. Sorry about that. Wow, just had a yawn.
Rich.
Yeah, like my biggest issue was when people would come back, I would lose the map.
Yeah.
See, I never lost the map. I just all of a sudden stopped hearing someone talking, or I didn't see them anymore. Which, not seeing yourself on there, you can kind of live without for a little bit and wait in order to reload. But if you can't hear, then there's really there's no indication of what's going on, and there's no interaction. So you can live without seeing the visual, but without hearing, you won't be able to get any indicators or planning or discussion or anything like
No,
that.
you stare off at your second screen for 5 minutes.
It seemed that Rich was having the most difficulty though overall.
No, he also has the oldest computer.
Yeah. So
hopefully it's not going to matter in a couple weeks though.
Hopefully, yeah.
Is he getting a new one?
No, not talking about us being back together.
Oh,
yeah, and the big test is going to be whether or not the laptop can handle it. The laptop I have. It is a gaming laptop. It is a newer laptop. So I'm hoping that it will be able to handle everything and that I can get all the cameras working and everything, because I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras. So need to play around with it, make sure we can get everything working, and then I'm going to have to actually create a whole new setup for Tavern Knights for streaming, like on here, where I've got like this background and like the stuff around it, and the way I do the other one. Now I'm going to have to do one where it's one side of the table, the other side of the table, me, and then the map. So, because those are going to be the 4 cameras. Okay. So I got to set up a whole new scene basically, and get that all figured out and how I want it to look, and hopefully make it look good. So,
and I think that it's something that can be developed over time too. You don't have to, like, I'm sure that we'll, after seeing the first few episodes, that we may be optimizing it in some way or not. And if you need any help, just let me know.
Stop that. Sorry. Trevor just came up and started licking my feet. It was weird.
Trevor is our dog, by the way.
Yeah.
For those.
Nothing weird.
I forget that he has a human name.
It's our slave that lives in the basement.
He's a good boy.
Again, the dog. But yeah, so you guys have a lot that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I've got. I'm looking forward. Yeah, there's Trevor. I'm looking forward to getting back around the table. We may not always be using the 3D print stuff. I gotta get back to printing stuff. I haven't even had time to do that.
Me too.
I just got a bunch of figs that I want to paint.
I don't like the one that you were showing me. I really don't like it.
Is it in front of you? Can you share?
It's terrifying.
It's probably too far away for her to reach it easily. Yeah, Trevor loves jumping up in laps now. He's learned that he can jump up, and he's actually not like a battering ram a lot of times when he does it. He actually jumps up kind of nice.
Yeah,
But it's
so
one
long.
leap. It's like a cat leap. It's all 4 come up at once, and he lands like a cat.
He does, and he's Trevor, for fuck's sake. And he's a small dog. He's shorter than Belmont, but he's so long because he's got the corgi body.
And he doesn't know how to sit on a lap.
No, it's because he doesn't fit. But yeah, I can't get that easily.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a nasty little thing, and I was talking with Renee, and she's like, I don't want to meet that. And originally I was saying I wasn't going to use it. I'm like, well, if I paint it, it will come. So
if you paint it,
I mean, that's what Ian used to yell at me all the time. He's like, "Will you stop painting things that are going to kill us?"
So now you're playing ball with him.
I have to. If I don't, he's just going to be in my lap. And I don't want to hurt my shoulder.
Yeah, don't hurt your shoulder again. So I mean, I got a bunch of things. Not all of them. Some of them I just bought because they were cool. There is one fig that I bought that I haven't even let Renee see yet.
Oh, wow.
And nobody's going to see it because it's actually one I bought. I actually pre-ordered it. Okay. And because it wasn't even out yet. I saw it was coming out in July. And it was one that I already had planned to use. But you guys may not even see this thing for years.
Years?
Depending on how things go. It's going to be a while. It's much later in the adventure that I have this thing planned for. So
like
what
level 14, 15, 16 type.
Not quite that high. Probably around 11, 10, 11.
I feel like that's not that far away.
Is it going to take years to get to 11?
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how fast
we're
you guys
at,
go.
what, 7?
You're at 7 right now.
We're at 7
Yeah.
now.
So I mean, you got a little ways. Well, I guess we are playing every other month. I'm thinking of my other game too, where we play once a month. So I mean, we've been playing that game for 5 years, and they're 11th level.
Yeah, you're still playing the game that level. I told you that you need to go hang out with your bros. It's that same campaign.
Oh wow.
No, that was Jake's campaign. Because mine I didn't start until after we got back from Ireland. So
so I
guess it's only been 4 years.
But Jake's campaign was the one that you.
Yeah, but I'm talking about my game where they're only.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Jake's.
No, we've been playing it for 4 years, and they're only at 10th level now. Jake's campaign they've been playing for longer than since I've moved back. So I mean that game has been going on for 10 years, and we're 11th level or 12th level. We're 12th level
after 10 years.
Yep.
So it takes a year to level up.
When you play once a month and miss several months, yeah.
Oh wow.
We missed a whole chunk during COVID because.
Oh, okay.
Because we
COVID.
Yeah, with COVID,
yeah.
we weren't getting around the table together, and we didn't want to. Jake was looking at doing things online, but he didn't want to really convert everything to online. Okay. So because it's also he runs a 3.5 campaign, and any of the online source material is built for 5e. So anything that he wanted to do on there would have to be him making it all on his own, and he just didn't have time for that. He's got 3 kids and a job, so
yeah,
and other hobbies.
Of course. Well, hopefully it doesn't take us that long with how often that we play every other.
No, I'm expecting the campaign itself. We've been going for a little over a year.
Overall, since the start, it's been we're approaching 2 years.
Okay, so I'm expecting this to go. If we can stay with every other week and getting back together and actually playing for about 4 hours each time, I'm thinking this will probably go another year and a half, maybe, is what I'm guessing.
Year and a half to what level?
To finish. Well, I don't know what level you'll be, but to finish this campaign. To finish what I have planned.
Your storyline of the campaign with our characters, whatever level we happen to be at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be another 2 years, but we'll see.
Okay. Just curious, and because I know that you're going more based off of milestones rather than, fight this and it's this much experience. You're kind of doing a blend of the two, right?
Yeah, it's basically I have set points along the adventure that I figure you guys should go up.
Yeah.
Now some of them may be quicker.
Which I think you were even saying, like, you were expecting us to be at 7th level, entering into Greyhawk.
Mm-hmm.
Like that you were even mentioning that previously, that you wanted us, like, as we entered Greyhawk, we were at 7th level at that point. So,
and odds are, once you finish everything that I have planned for you in Greyhawk, the base adventure that I have for you there, you're probably going to level up to 8, because the next thing that I've got planned, I'm expecting you to be 8th level. So,
gotcha. Okay, all right.
Ability boost.
Huh?
Ability boost.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the feats.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys still have quite a bit to do in Greyhawk.
2 points into wisdom. That's what I'm going to do.
I need to ask Chris if he's going to allow me to maybe do the feat that I really want now.
Is it in Tasha's?
Yes.
Then probably no.
It's telekinetic.
What is it?
Telekinetic.
Let me pull out Tasha's right here. The feat telekinetic, huh?
Yeah. You increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1. You can learn Mage Hand. If you know it already, it extends out farther. And you can, as a bonus action, push or pull a creature within 30 feet of you by 5 feet.
No, I don't think so.
I didn't think so either.
I don't like things that give you other spell abilities that and things like that.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that Tasha seemed to do a lot of. It did a lot of that kind of stuff where it really made it. I didn't like the way that a lot of the stuff laid out in there. I've said that before. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the stuff it just becomes too. Here it is. Too powerful. So.
Totally understand about that.
Because it gives a lot of abilities that are bonus actions or things like that. That just I'm like.
Yep.
Like you only have 6 seconds to do everything, and let's see. I mean, that one doesn't do a lot other than move a creature 5 feet toward or away from you, and it's only if they miss if they miss basically your spell save.
Yeah.
Versus on a strength save. So I mean, it's not horrible, but I still don't like the idea that you're just naturally telekinetic. That just doesn't. If we could figure out a way to work it in, maybe you got a good story arc for it.
Okay.
But just to say that you develop that ability, I don't see.
Just out of nowhere, which totally makes sense. All right. Well,
because you don't even have the telekinesis spell, do you?
That's a 5th level spell.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So it's not like you've been studying telekinesis or anything like that. So.
Nope. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I understand that, and maybe later on, once I'll hit certain levels, and then you're right. Maybe we can play around with it, and if I learn that spell in the future, then maybe like I'm playing around with it, and that kind of leads into it at like the next feats or like ability score level, but just looking at different kinds of options.
Mm-hmm.
I always favor for some reason I favor the feats more than just bumping up your ability score by 2.
I really like the feats as well, but I really need to get my wisdom up.
and I need to.
I mean,
I need to bump my intelligence up exactly for the same reason.
My DC is 13. It's not too hard to, and it's usually con. Or it's a con. Yeah, it's a con save. So
yeah.
Well, for your stunning strike.
Yeah.
That I can understand.
I'm not going to stun shit.
What's your wisdom right now at? Is it an odd?
No, it's an even number. So I have to put both into it.
Gotcha. Okay. See, like my intelligence is an odd number, and I just need to get a +1 in there. But the +1 for intelligence, there's not that many feats that add the +1 to intelligence.
There's not many that add anything into wisdom as well. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, you can, when it comes to like con and stuff like that, that's like physical health. Like, you can make yourself healthier. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense for a lot of those feats too. I can't throw the ball when you leave it over there.
Yeah, your wisdom's 14 right now, Klimbro.
Yeah.
That is pretty low if that's like what your DC is based off of.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah, I can understand that. Like my DC is 14 right now, and I feel like that is killing me a lot of times.
My DC is a 13.
Yeah.
And with the first is it level 4 where you can ability bump? Yep. So at level 4 I did the ability bump as well, but I put it in intelligence and dexterity because they do intercon.
Con, I think, because you're at a 19 con.
Yeah. Then it would have been intelligent. Whatever I have 2 18s in.
Oh, that's your dex? Well, you've got... Let me look it. You got an 18 in strength and dex.
That's it. So I did it in strength and dex.
Okay.
Because those were odd numbers, and by increasing both strength and dex, I was able to bump my AC up by 2.
No, by 1. It only went up by 1. Going up in your deck, because Dex would only take it up by 1, going up to 18 from 17. Strength has nothing to do with your AC.
Then it must have been Wisdom from a 13 to a 14 because
Yeah.
I purposely put 1 point in each, and it raised my AC by 2.
Yeah, that's what it would have been. Because I think your strength was 18 when you started.
Yeah, I think it was because I put my highest modifier actually in my strength, but my con ended up being even higher because of the dwarven racial feat.
Yeah,
that
dwarven
you
resilience.
+2. Hey,
it's the same reason why, as a halfling, my dexterity is higher than my intelligence. I put my highest stat that I rolled into intelligence, but as a halfling, I get a +2 to dexterity, and I put that as my second lowest stat that I rolled, but
second highest.
My second highest, yeah, and my dexterity is actually higher than my intelligence right now.
Yeah,
because of that.
Had I known a little bit more about D&D and the numbers game, I definitely would have put stats in a different section. Just but I was going more for a concept than maxing. So,
and that's exactly what I want.
And that's exactly how I played it as well. Is that I like the fact that like right now that my dex is higher than my intelligence as a wizard. Although I'm like really suffering from it, like getting that extra, like I could have taken it at level 4, and bumped it up, and I didn't realize either that affects my spell DC. It affects how many spells I can have prepared. I could have always had an extra spell prepared that I just added to my list for like since level 4, which would have been nice to have that as an option, and have my spell DC at a 15 instead of a 14 since level 4. But you know, for a concept, I went with the more lucky aspect of it. Because I was going more based off of the concept, which I've been having a lot of fun with, and it's actually kind of interesting. It makes it more interesting in terms of the battles and how everything role plays out when you're instead of, which there's nothing wrong with min-maxing, but playing more concept I think is more interesting and more fun.
I think it is too, and you guys have some crazy great stats, and I think
we all did roll very well.
If we do another campaign after this, I think I'm going to have you guys roll differently.
How did we roll before, like when we first rolled them up? What was your...
It's 4d6, reroll ones, drop the lowest.
46, so drop the lowest out of the 4.
Yep.
But even if you re-rolled any ones, re-roll them, and so that way they're not
right
at all. Okay, so you're taking your top 3 and any type and ones.
And then what I had you guys do is roll them 6 times that way, and then roll another set of 6 and pick which one of those sets of 6 you wanted.
Okay, all right, I gotcha. I think I remember that now.
I've done that for years, and I've never seen a group roll like you guys did.
Yeah,
and you were there with us.
All of us rolled really, really well.
Fucking like Russ with like 3 fucking 17s or something like that.
I had something like that. I think I had 2 17s and an 18.
So Russ has an 18 strength, an 18 con, and a 17 charisma.
Oh.
Now, as an Aasimar, he got bonuses into his charisma, but still. He's got a 15 dex, 12 int, and 13 wisdom. So, I mean, all of his stats are just phenomenal.
He has mentioned it many times that this is his best character that he's ever rolled in all of his years of playing.
But, I mean, Klimbrum is 18 strength, 18 dex, 19 con, 14 int, 14 wisdom, 10 charisma.
Yeah, I rolled really, really well. I think I had 2 17s and 18, and 13 and a 10. And the reason why my con is at a 19? Is that 19 is because I put one of my 17s in con, and because of being a dwarf, you get a +2 to your con, which bumped it up to 19. And yeah, I rolled really well.
And then your strength would have been one that got a bonus too.
Yeah, I think that was a 17.
Yeah, and that gets a +1.
And yeah, because then my wisdom was a 13, which I did the ability bump up to a 14. Yep. I think I still have my sheet down here somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, rolled super well.
Yeah. So there's lots of things I'm looking forward for you guys to do though in the future, and yeah, Russ has a 24 AC right now when he does Shield of Faith, and he feels all big and bad. That won't last. As you guys get up, I mean, you're going to be fighting stuff that has the same chance to hit that you guys do. And I mean, you guys right now, a lot of you are at like +6, +7 to hit with most things, even +8, depending on if you have a magical weapon.
Yeah, I have a +8 with Boris.
So, I mean, you guys are going to be starting to go against things that have +6, +7, +8, +9, +10 to hit. Multiple attacks, things like that. Yeah, there's still a good chance that he won't get hit. But when something only has to roll, a 14 instead of an 18 to hit him, that's a big difference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, let's see, 3d20s and 12, 4, 11. So I didn't roll well there at all. 11, 6, 11, and 13. Yeah, okay, so I'm glad we're not playing right now. Yeah, oh yeah, these are all, wow, my dice are cold.
See, but like with...
You need to smudge them.
But with like what we did against those bugbears, we fought plenty of bugbears in the past.
Natural 20.
Nice.
13, 15, 16.
I knew that we fought bugbears in the past. They're not particularly, that threatening, I think, to us. That's where I was willing to, swap places and try and bump up my AC and, hope for the best. Unless if they got something, really like high, they would actually probably have to roll like probably a 17 or an 18 for me to get hit. And like if I threw up, shield or whatnot. I'm not sure plus to their attack rolls are, but it's not like what you were describing. Like if it was like a black dragon, which probably has like a +10 to hit, chances are it's a little bit more reasonable with a simple bugbear. But I probably wouldn't be doing that if we were going up against like a dragon or maybe even dust hags in the future, whatever they're at.
Let's see. So the dragon you guys took out really quick had a +11 to hit.
See, that's Jace. So,
and that's just an adult.
Not an ancient. Is it ancient after adult?
No, I think
young adult.
It's wormling, young adult, ancient. Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Oh, damn. Oh, that's right. I can't do it that way.
Overall, still, like in Greyhawk, I think are we just finishing up our second day?
Yes.
Greyhawk now? Which has been, 4 sessions now we've been in Greyhawk?
Something like that, yeah.
You arrived in Greyhawk in episode 21. This last one was 24. So that was your
sessions.
So that was your 4th session because you were there in 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been there for a little while.
Yeah, we're going to be here for a little while still. I think that even after, which I'm thinking I have some ideas on moving forward with trying to find Maudlin sisters, on how to maybe find them or draw them out potentially. I know that we're not going to be doing it this week, so in a couple weeks from now. But I have some ideas on how to maybe approach it so we can potentially find them. It all depends if it works or not. But I've been trying to think about it. And then the other main quest is the Yellow Crest, which is more of the side quest, I believe, for us.
Yeah.
But actually, this is technically a side quest too. I'm not sure if this is part of the main story either, because the main story is we're still looking for the staff, I believe, which we have no indication of whatsoever at this point in time. So it'll be interesting to see if we still even actually have to go to the library and probably go to the Wizards Guild and see what's there. Or I'm sure there's even more that we actually have to go and visit. You have made it a real strong point, Chris, that whenever we're doing these searches that we happen to spot some landmark that piques our interest that we may have to follow up with, because there's just so much around in this city.
There is a lot in the city.
So I don't imagine us leaving this place anytime soon.
Well, and just wait, because I've got so much more planned now, especially once we get back at the table. There's some stuff that's going to go on. What's funny is, so the one Fig guy the sculptor that I actually subscribe to, the Loot Studios. He's a guy out of Brazil, fantastic sculptor, absolutely amazing work. His work is some of the most detailed figs I've ever seen. I absolutely love them, to the point where the ones that are sized for actually playing like D&D, like with the way we do with the 28 millimeters or whatever they are. They're so detailed that they're really tough to paint at that size.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because there's so many fine little details on there. I mean, his detail work actually makes a lot of the stuff from Games Workshop, the stuff that like the Warhammer stuff, look like they have no detail.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, his stuff is just amazing.
His stuff definitely look like when you print them on the resin printer. Looks better than a lot of stuff from WizKids.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, definitely rivaling the Warhammer figs.
Yeah, I mean they're fantastic, and I've been following him and stuff, and I'm like, it's funny that every once in a while, stuff that he puts out is matching stuff that I'm using in the campaign, or maybe using in the campaign. This next bundle for next month, he's already put out a thing for September's bundle on what it's going to be. The August bundle was kobolds, which you guys just had the Kobold Warren thing a while back. Where this next one is all about being down in the sewers. And you guys have been talking about going into the sewers of Greyhawk. He's even making, it looks like the environment pieces are going to be sewer tiles, like actual tiles cool. With like water and sewer pipes and things like that. I'm like, holy crap, that'd be so cool. But I don't know that that'll be out before you guys wind up down there, or that I'll be able to get them printed and painted and all that before we need them, depending on what you guys do next session.
Chances are next game is we're probably going to be trying the sewers at the very next game.
And if that's the case, then I will not have those.
God, we need to haul ass and paint. I think I can finally paint again, but we have so much to paint. I need to paint Octavian.
I got a new dragon too that I want to paint.
What color?
Blue. It looks really cool. Blue dragons are always been one of my favorites.
Okay.
So it's one of those things. I just wanted a blue dragon model. That's one that I have no intentions of putting a young blue dragon against you guys. Adult blue dragon maybe, but not a young one. You guys are beyond the young ones. But the I've always wanted it. So now I've got a young green dragon and a young blue dragon that I need to paint.
But you still have a young green dragon that is
out there
still
taunting Euchariah.
I still love the fact that Euchariah and Phelan almost opened the door on a green dragon.
That was
Oh,
That was
man.
Yeah, that's right.
At what, like third level?
Yeah.
Yeah, third level. It's all right. He Phelan said that he fought a dragon at first level and survived and beat it.
Yep.
Yeah, but do you believe anything Phelan actually says?
No, of course not. Of course not.
What's funny is like that actually did happen in another campaign.
No, I know that, of course.
But yeah.
Phelan remembers a lot of past lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have plans for writing those two characters out. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting once we get back to playing. So,
and actually, we're in a very good spot right now where you can write characters out and write characters in.
Yep.
I think that Greyhawk is the perfect place that both can happen, and we're not going to be leaving anytime soon. We have two major quests that we're following up with, and I think it's going to be a number of sessions before we get through both of them. And then anything else, and then we also have to wait around for our stuff to be ready. So I think that there's still so much on top of those two quests. We have so much to explore, and then we're ordering stuff that's going to take some time, and then maybe even go beyond that. And then I'm sure there's a place where you can throw additional side quests on. I don't think that we want to be leaving anytime soon, because there's, once we do, it's probably going to be, nothing that is that open in terms of shops and getting materials for quite some time. This is like where everything is located. We can practically get everything that we want to. Like
you guys are in a giant sandbox right now.
Yeah. So I think that we're going to be here for quite some time, a number of sessions, and I think that it's good opportunities for both writing out the characters, introducing new ones. I think that there's plenty of time for all that.
I was actually surprised that nobody wanted to go to the mercenary guild hall.
I just think that
we were on a mission. We only had so much time on that spell. Believe me, we're going to go back.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go to the Daggerarium.
Oh, well, that's a different place, but yeah. No, I'm talking about the Mercenary Guild Hall where you can actually go and get jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, give us time. We will.
Yeah, there's going to be that. There's the library.
We were on a time crunch.
Yeah, you haven't been to the library. You haven't been to the Mages Guild.
I know Clembrum still wants to probably do another one of the brawl fights and get into the next level of that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So
Clembrum's about to go through some like personal shit because her girlfriend's about to leave her. So she's not going to be in a good place. Her best friend left, and now her girlfriend's leaving her. So, but
yeah.
until Chris actually writes them off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, like I said, I got plans for that. So I think I've finally figured out how I'm doing it. So
Okay.
We'll see.
Nice.
It may still be a couple sessions, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense, like with like how large it is, that they're doing their own thing, and those two characters kind of get caught up in their own world essentially. That sometimes is deviating from what the rest of the group is more focused on. It's kind of on point with their characters in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need me?
Yeah. Right? Gosh.
You got it.
God, that was so funny too.
They are definitely going to be missed, though. I'm gonna miss their interactions. I think they brought a really great dynamic to the group. But hopefully, I'm really excited about the new people that are joining up.
Yep.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So Ian also, I talked to him. Well, texted with him, and he gave the okay for us to continue to use Phelan's Jig as our opening song. So So we'll still be using that as we start our game. And yeah, unfortunately, we were. I was in talks with Ed about coming back, but it's too far of a drive for him on Friday nights. So for when we go so late. So that's unfortunately not going to work out. But he felt he was in a place where he might be able to do it, and then the more we talked about it, he realized that he really can't. He can't commit to it, unfortunately. So
bummer.
But I've got one person that's interested, longtime gamer. I've been gaming with him for decades at this point.
Oh wow, nice. So another veteran, which is really good because now the scales are kind of tipped. The newer players are outweighing like how many of veteran players, and that's kind of our whole concept.
Yeah,
is the fact that we have like a balance of brand new players that this is their first campaign.
Yep.
And those that have been playing for quite some time. So it's good that it's exciting that if we get someone that has been playing a long time.
Yeah, and I was in talks with some other people too, and unfortunately they also couldn't commit to it.
Yeah, but they have a kid.
They have a kid, and they're really active with a lot of other things. So
yeah, and like a 10-year-old too.
Yeah.
Or no, he's younger than that.
Well, I don't know how old he is now.
About 10, something like that. But like big into sports and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, but the guy that I've got that I'm talking with right now is also one of the biggest smartasses I've ever known. So,
yep, he sure is. Love him to death. He's like that quiet smartass though.
Yeah, I was the one that always got hit.
Superpower. He's got a superpower of getting other people hit.
Yeah. Like he'd say something, I would laugh, and someone would ask, what was that? And I would repeat what he said, and I would be the one that got hit for making the comment. Like, it was him! And he'd just sit there and laugh at me.
Is he playing any of your current games?
He's in both, actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he can commit to a third game?
I think so, yeah. He seems to think so. So
that'd be great. Wonderful. Tell him we need a rogue.
He may not play one because he plays one in another game. So in one of the other games. So
that's the nice thing about like this game. Also, you basically let us be whoever we wanted to be.
Yep.
Like we had 3 arcane casters. It was a lot of duplicate there, but we all played it very differently between having a bard, a sorcerer, and a wizard.
I'm going to burn this whole fucking forest down.
But, like the fact that, we were all like, open and just, because that's how it is in real life, right? Or that
you guys almost had a 4th.
Hmm?
And we almost had a 4th arcane caster.
What do you mean?
Klimbrum's original concept was she was still going to be a monk, but she was very in tune with nature and loved being outside because she grew up in a hill. Okay. And she didn't want to. She was actually supposed to have a phobia of the dark, and didn't. Or no, not the dark. She was supposed to be horrendously claustrophobic. Was my initial concept for her.
Oh, interesting.
And she was actually going to be way of the 4 elements. But when I heard that we had a wizard, a sorcerer, and
a bard,
knowing how Ian played Phelan, I'm like, too much of the same. Because essentially you're a monk who can do fireball and cone of cold and shit like that.
Gotcha.
And so that reading the player's handbook, I found Way of the Shadow and then changed her concept into what Klimbrum is, which is way fucking cooler in my opinion. I absolutely adore the fact that Klimbrum and Octavian are exact opposites.
That's really cool. I do like that too.
And I love the dynamic it creates because Octavian literally shines sometimes.
Yeah.
He's so shiny and so bright.
Well, especially now that he's got Lightbringer.
Yeah.
Lightbringer, he just goes bing, and it turns on.
And you rely on shadows and darkness, and you kind of are at a disadvantage when it's not. So when we're in a bright outside area, You can't do.
I'm a
some of
normal
your-
monk.
Yeah, you can't.
Well,
do
I'm a
your,
normal
like,
monk.
special-
that's the thing. So even in like caverns and stuff, if he has Lightbringer on within 20 feet of him, all the way around, it's bright light.
Yeah. So I have to back up so I could, or head forward to get out of it where I could phase shift.
Yeah.
Because it clearly states dim or darkness. I can only do it in. That's why when it gets dusk, that's my time to shine.
Like when you guys were fighting the bugbears, although you didn't use
Yes.
it there.
I didn't need, I did once.
Did you?
Yeah, I went behind so I could flank.
Ah.
At least I thought I did. I don't know, I use it whenever I can. I love that ability. It's so cool.
I remember when you were like,
is that an action or bonus action to do that?
Bonus.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a bonus action to
See,
do that.
my special
But it's like-
ability for transposing is an actual action.
Yeah, I can actually, so I can phase shift up to 60 feet and still have my movement on top of it, and I have a movement of 45, I think.
Damn.
is that what you're at now?
Yeah,
Wow.
Hmm?
Is that what you're at now?
I think so. It's 40 or 45, I thought.
Yeah, I know you get up there. I mean, you can get up to 50 feet of movement at one point.
Until I learn haste,
Yeah.
and I started casting that on Clembrum.
You with haste, and Octavian with holy weapon. Or holy.
You are at 40 feet right now.
40 feet.
But
So
honestly,
yeah,
that's
I can
what,
move up to 100 feet in a single round.
and honestly, I'm like trying to get haste for you.
Oh, yeah.
For your character is why I'm getting that spell. I'm trying to get that spell scroll.
I forgot that with Shadow Step, you also get advantage on your first attack after you do it.
Oh shit!
Do you not utilize that?
No.
Advantage?
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest perks.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 6th level, you gain the ability to step from one shadow to another when you are in dim light or darkness. As a bonus action, you can teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see that is also in dim light or darkness. You then have advantage on the first melee attack you make before the end of your turn.
Damn.
I forgot about that.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I think
And
I'm
you
pretty much. It's not too often I miss.
And can you phase shift as a bonus action every round?
Technically, it's a
Or
bonus
does it have
action.
to- or does
The
it have
thing
to
is
be
when I
reset?
phase shift, I can't do flurry of blows.
Because that's a bonus action.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or your third
Okay.
attack, or
Yeah, I can stunning
okay.
strike because that's
Okay.
just a key point.
yeah, it's part of your actual attack.
See,
Yeah.
for my benign transposition, I can only use that once per short rest, or unless if I cast a conjuration spell that's my school, first level or higher, and then it resets. So I actually have a particular limit. I can only use it once until we reach that short rest, or I cast a particular spell, and then I can do it again. So, like when we had like our little back and forth with what you were trying to do when I was in the crow's nest of the pirate ship, and we're going like doing that, which again,
That was fun.
I planned that for you to do that very thing because I knew you would, and I thought it would be fun to kind of like go back and forth with like I used my benign transposition to travel down, and I knew you would come down, and then I used Misty Step to go back up, which resetted it and allowed me to like use benign transposition to go back down, and like we're just constantly like, teleporting past one another to try and like chase each other essentially.
That was fun. What?
Nothing. You guys and all your teleport abilities too.
Yeah,
That just.
love it.
Well, I
Yeah,
know
so-
that was actually a concept for Euchariah, was to have all
From
of
the
those
beginning,
from the
yeah.
beginning, was to have all of that just to be able to get out of spaces fast.
Yes.
That was always your concept, was the.
And that's why I went with conjuration originally, was because I wanted Misty Step and things like that, and And that benign transposition, when you hit 6th level, that was part of like, you know, what drew me to that particular one. So
Yeah, and you get the ability to teleport and stuff later, I think, too.
no, that was my ability, was
Oh, is that what it was?
teleporting right there. So
Okay.
I mean, I can still learn to like do the more different types of teleport spells, like Dimension Door, and I think there's another one called Far Step at 5th level.
Well, then there's actually teleportation circle and teleport later on too.
Yeah. That's one thing that I wanted to ask. Like, so like teleportation circle, I think that's, as long as I know the particular circle sigil and I've studied it and used it before, I can utilize it again, right? So if I were to like level up and if I were to learn that, I know that there's one in the Temple of the Open Mind, and I've used that one before. So I should, if I learn it, I should theoretically be able to teleport us back to the Temple of the Open Mind at any time.
I used it on a scroll.
I would still have had to.
And I went to like the Temple of Ro, right?
Yeah, Rao? The Temple of Ro. It's in the basement of the Temple of Ro.
Yeah.
I used it from the scrolls, but I would have had to drawn it out all the same in order to get us there.
Let's see. I'm just reading through what it says. Plane of existence, shimmering portal opens. Any creature within the portal instantly appears in 5 feet of the destination circle. When you first gain the ability to cast a spell, you learn the sigil sequences for 2 destinations on the material plane, determined by the GM. You can learn additional sigil sequences during your adventures. You can commit a new sigil sequence to memory after studying it for 1 minute.
Okay.
So yes. So it would be up to me which ones you get first.
Just knowing from learning that spell, which ones I already happen to know.
Yeah.
And then, but I was just wondering, like, I would probably like know the one that I cast the spell once before.
Maybe.
And I was also, one of the things that I was wondering is, like, you know, while we're in Greyhawk, I was probably going to try and ask around if there's a teleportation circle happen to be there, and try and like see if I can somehow commit it to like writing it down in my spell book or something like that for any potential future use down the line if we happen to come across another scroll, or if I happen to learn that spell, so that way we can make a quick you know, trip back to Greyhawk potentially. It comes at a high cost. It's like 50 gold, I think, every single time you do one.
Rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems worth 50 gold pieces, which the spell consumes.
Yeah. So it costs 50 gold for every single time that you do it, which it consumes. Yeah.
Worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
But you guys are freaking rich anyway, so.
I know.
I mean, we're all right.
Rich is my middle name.
So yeah.
Literally, yes.
And you can create a permanent teleportation circle by casting the spell in the same location every day for 1 year.
With 50 gold worth of chalks, though, right?
Yep.
So how long is a year in Grey?
364 days, I think it is.
So it's about equivalent.
Yeah.
So it would be 50 times 350. So yeah. I don't think we have that amount of gold yet to create a permanent teleport. That would be awesome to have it one in Phandalin at our, like, the basement of our mansion. Maybe we can ask.
But we need to be in the mansion for a year. We've been there for 1 night.
18,200 gold pieces.
Gosh. Well, but you're right. We would have to. You would have to be every single day for an entire year to be able to do it, right?
Yep.
Does it have to be? Okay, here's a question then. Does it have to be by the same wizard?
Yes.
The same mage?
Yes.
It doesn't. It does.
Because it's you can create, is what it says. You can create a permanent teleportation circle by casting the spell in the same location every day for 1 year.
Okay.
You need not use the circle to teleport when you cast a spell in this way. So you don't have to actually have to teleport away anywhere, but you're just creating the spell you're just creating it that way. So
you're still using the material components.
Yep.
But it's like I couldn't be like, hey Raslam, go ahead and start doing this for me, and then I show up and I finish it off. Okay. So we would have to have downtime for an entire year, and I would have to be like, all right, this is what my character does for like X amount of time every single day, making sure that he doesn't get distracted with
1 minute
or something like
it's
that.
1 minute a day.
Oh, okay.
It takes 1 minute to cast it. And it's not a ritual cast, so you can't just cast it ritually. You actually have to use a spell slot.
That's no problem during downtime, but
the
fact that you have to say like, all right, for 1 year, our characters are pretty much doing nothing.
Which you can do. I mean, that's the thing.
Which is a thing.
Yeah, you guys can do downtime. I mean, your characters are young. There's nothing saying that you don't have downtime. If you guys want to take a break and not constantly be on the road, you can do that. You guys want to spend 3 weeks in Greyhawk just fucking around? We can actually do that. We can do downtime activities where there's other roles and we don't have to role play everything out for those every day for those 3 weeks.
But just say that because like what you were saying with the activities about learning a new skill or proficiency,
right,
or language, that it would take this amount of weeks, this cost, and then we roll for it. But we would just be like, all right, for 4 or 5 weeks, our characters are just going about their normal lives and focusing on this.
Yeah, which you guys could definitely do in Greyhawk.
Can Klimbrum rent a whole bunch of self-help books to increase her wisdom from the library?
You can't raise ability scores except through magical means.
Damn.
What do you mean by magical means?
There are books out there that actually will raise ability scores.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does the library at Greyhawk have any of those?
None that you can get your hands on.
Ooh, challenge accepted.
Or is that like something that we would have to like obtain through a high level type quest?
It would probably be something through a high level quest that you would find, or in a high level dungeon. Because the other thing with those books is you read them, you spend 48 hours reading them. It raises whatever ability score because there's one book for every ability score, and you spend 48 hours, I think it is, studying the book over however long you want it. You're like, I'm going to spend 2 hours a day for 24 days studying this book, and then after that time, your ability score goes up, and the book goes blank for 100 years.
Oh wow! Okay.
Can be used once every 100 years.
Ow.
Are there
Harsh.
are there multiple books for each one, for each like strength and intelligence and whatnot?
Most likely.
Or okay, it's not like once in 100 years. Like for example, like if Klimbrum and Octavian both want to bump in a particular one, and we happen to find two. Like, could we theoretically find 2 books of the same one?
Yeah, I've never seen anyone find 2 of the same one ever. They're extremely rare.
Extremely rare. Okay, I'm just asking simple questions about like overall lore of it, since you don't have any of that experience.
Yeah, like I think it's the Tome of Bodily Health is what the strength one is.
Is this like what allows people to go beyond 20 for their ability scores? Like sometimes that they actually do have like a 22 or 21 or 22
manual of bodily health. Let me see. I know you can do that with like giant strength items. I'm just looking at this one because this is the one I remember the name of. That's actually Con is bodily health. And it increases your score by 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well,
yeah, that's where I was kind of going with. Like, I thought that you can get it bumped up to like 22 through like those really like high, like I think that's like level 18, 19, 20 type stuff.
Yeah, it actually I think it can, because this actually says this book contains health and diet tips, and its words are charged with magic. If you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book's contents and practicing its guidelines, your constitution score increases by 2, as does your maximum for that score. So yes, it would go up. So if you had a 20 con, this would take it up to 22, and that would be your max con.
Wow. But again, nothing to add.
The manual then loses its magic but regains it in a century. So it doesn't go blank, it just loses the magical ability.
But theoretically, though, the book goes blank, you said. So if we ever find anything like that...
No, I said the book doesn't go blank, because this actually says it's filled with health and diet tips, and its words are charged with magic. So it just, the magic goes away, and then it comes back, it builds back up over a century.
But the book doesn't disappear or get relocated. So if we ever find something like that, we hold on to that and just kind of store it into our library or something like that, because...
Yeah, you just found the Atkins diet. Here you go. You gonna read it?
All right.
So yeah, I've got some plans for some items for you guys. I've had to adjust some of my plans, because I had some plans for Ed's character that I was gonna actually have I had a special item all set up for him. But with him not playing anymore, then that one's kind of gone. So I'm figuring out what else I want to put in, because there's one dungeon that I'm planning to run you guys through that it's one of those things where I have certain magic items I'm planning on putting in there, and now I got to kind of rework what I'm going to put in there.
Bracers.
All those bracers of defense that give you
something
like +2. Well, I tried to ask about that ring of defense that I have for you, but I think that came out to be like 6,000 gold or something like that. I think we.
It was more than what we had. Oh, more than what we had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ring of protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. The ring of protection.
Yep. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, no game this week because both of you won't be there. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if I can actually get things finished down there and set up and ready for the game. I got a lot of stuff going on every night, so it's tough for me to have the time to do things. And with being out of town last weekend, that took up a bunch of time too. So that would have been time that I would have used to finish getting things set up down there. The big thing is
it was worth it.
It was. But the big thing is figuring out what we're going to do with all the painting supplies, because we've got a lot of projects that we're both doing in painting. And so I don't want to stop. I don't want to get everything put away to where we have to then pull everything back out and reset up what we were doing and losing where we were and stuff. So I got to, or even risking having the figs get damaged or anything like that. So you still have to finish painting Eucharia.
I do, which I'm sure that I will, once we start getting back in person and everything like that. I can work on that, and then I have the backup Eucharia as well. So one thing that I need to get back on, like as you were pointing out, is the 3D printing. I kind of took a step back from that. I tried to upgrade to like a glass bed actually, but for some reason I was just having a lot of difficulty with it. I couldn't get the material to stick. It kept on, crashing in, and it wouldn't adhere to the glass at all. And I just kept on having a lot of difficulty. So I had to revert back to like my original like base plate that I have, and I think that it's been working out fine. I just have to re-level it and everything. It wasn't a leveling issue. I think it was an adhesion issue for some reason. And that I might have to. I still have it. I may need to look to see if there's ways to, I've heard like things like glue or hairspray or some other things that may be helpful for it, but
painter's tape I've seen people use too
for adhesion.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll give that.
And they say it helps getting it off too, because you can just peel the tape off and it comes
I've
right
never had
off.
problems with getting any of my anything that I print, getting it off. I've never had any problems with it, but for some reason with upgrading to the glass, it just had
Well,
difficulty.
could it be a heat issue then? The bed heating the bed, not heating up enough to.
I have messed around with the settings in all different fashions, ranging from 50 degrees all the way to like 70 degrees for the bed, even the temperature of the material. I've gone through so many iterations when I had the glass to try and get it. There were some that were better, but eventually every single one would fail within like the first couple minutes. That I would lose that adhesion, and then it would just start clumping up because it kept on crashing into itself, and then it just bundle up, and then it would ruin. So the moment that I went back to the original bed, which was just like this polymer type material, it looked like it was fine again. So I need to do a little bit more research on it, but I stopped printing for a couple weeks because of that, and I was getting frustrated with the glass, so I just went back to the original because I have problems with the overall leveling of it. Like my whole house is kind of in a odd way of everything is kind of not level. Like all the houses here are built on sand, so there's some leveling issues with all the houses. And if you were to actually like see like just like my tables and everything, like naturally there's like a tilt to it. So having a 3D printer, there's like the print bed itself is leveled, but like the springs that are controlling it are like opposite of each other in some cases. Like one is like fully like extended while the other one is fully compressed, just to get like leveling of the print bed, and then leveling the extruder going back and forth as well. But everything else is misleveled in some way or not. So I thought that the glass was going to be more helpful, but it just became a problem. So I'm going to start printing up more over the next couple of weeks, so that way I can get some more for when we get back around the table again.
Yeah, that's my plan too, is to do some printing in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. With Renee being gone this weekend, I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, but including one of my other games, the other game that I run. We actually switched weekends now, so now my game is the second weekend, and my buddy's game is the fourth weekend. But Renee will be missing my game as well this week.
Yeah, sorry.
On Saturday, but that plus English Premier League starts back up this Saturday, so I may be going out to watch that game before my game.
Nice.
And then now I'm supposed to golf on Sunday, so we'll see. We'll see how much time I have for actual printing and stuff. I don't plan on actually going anywhere other than that, though. I don't plan on going out after my game or anything. I'm gonna hang out at the house. And
are you? So this Friday, you're not planning on any type of? I know you're kind of hoping to get together like like not a D&D game, but like just sort of like
Red Dragon Inn or something like that. I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to.
And Russ, maybe?
Me, Russ. I'm hoping Bob, the new guy, which he actually just got me a couple of new character packs for Red Dragon Inn. And part of it was, one of them was Evil Pookie, which is Pookie's the wizard's rabbit that got its own character deck. And now this is Pookie's evil doppelganger. And he's like, I'm giving these to you. He goes, with the condition that I get to be the first person to play Evil Pookie. So, I said, okay, we can arrange that. So,
were you, if you do that, or were you planning on streaming it on Twitch?
That's my hope, so that I can actually test out the cameras and the streaming ability of the laptop to see how it works and see how it goes for the stream. So.
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know if I can stream it up north. Probably not, but I would be interested in maybe. I think that
depends on where you are. If you're in the cabin, you can probably do it. In the big cabin, because it's got cable.
The big cabin.
Yeah.
So if I'm over at the big cabin at all, I would probably. And I think that even on Twitch, it stays up online for a few days, right?
Yeah.
A week
right now.
So even if I don't get a chance to watch it up there. I'll watch it when we get back, and I'll be curious to see like how it all goes. So
Yep.
sorry I can't be there, but I'll be back definitely by the end of the month for our actual game.
That's understandable. Like I said, adults have lives, man. It's the hardest part of any D&D game is getting people to commit to actually playing.
Mm-hmm.
And we found in a lot of my other games is that the best way for us to do it was just to say we're playing this week. If you can make it, great. If you can't, then you're gonna miss. And in my buddy's game, he actually gives he actually does XP based leveling, and we don't all level at the same time because if you miss, you only get like half the experience that everyone else does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you actually have like characters at different levels in that?
I think we're all 12th now, but a couple of us are closer to 13 than others.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But you go based off of primarily milestones.
Yeah.
But you also, I think you take XP into consideration in some way, don't you?
To an extent. I mean, I've figured out.
You kind of mentioned it here and there before.
I've figured some things out. I've kind of stopped now because now you guys are into where there's much bigger gaps between the levels as far as experience goes, which is easiest for me to look up, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't remember exactly what it is. But
okay.
I'm not going to take the time to pull that out because we got to start wrapping things up. Because we've been going for an hour and a half now, so and it's 10 o'clock, so I get actually I have a change to do in an hour, so I still have to actually do some work tonight.
Oh, but, yes, I am getting tired.
Yep. So
I don't sleep well right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so keep an eye on Facebook and Twitter. I will be posting on what's going on for Friday night. Tomorrow night, Russ and I will be back for our normal. Tavern Knights. No, our normal Nerds with Alcohol show. Mm-hmm. Russ didn't actually make it tonight because he's out with a bunch of friends watching Suicide Squad, which Renee and I watched yesterday. So we'll be talking about that on the show tomorrow.
Oh, how was that?
It's 1,000% better than the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's I found it very entertaining, very enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, it's goofy and over the top.
Yeah, it's on HBO. Okay.
It's goofy and over the top, but it actually has a plot.
Yeah, and
it's actually quite good.
Yeah, but it's very bloody. It's very gory.
Yeah, it is.
But that's what Suicide Squad is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll be talking about that. I'm sure first impressions, no spoilers, for tomorrow since it just came out Friday. And then we got a bunch of other stuff to talk about too. And then yeah, that's it for right now. Because then it'll be 2 weeks. The 27th we'll be back with an actual Tavern Knights show. Hopefully in the Nerd Basement if I can get everything set up and everything works. So
can't wait. I would be really looking forward to getting around the table again.
I am too. My biggest concern is we may not be using. It may be like old school then, because there may still be a lot of drawing on graph paper and using figs that aren't really the figs that they're supposed to be. Like, oh look, here come 20 goblins. Okay, I have 3 goblins, and then I have a bunch of Warhammer figs. Yeah, or something like that. It's or here's a bunch of unpainted figs that I haven't gotten to paint yet.
One thing that I've been seeing online, actually, that some people do, and, obviously be an investment that I'd be more than willing, like, if we were to talk about that people, like, have, like, TVs, like, built into, like, you would have to get, like, a specialty table.
We've thought about that.
Where the TV and they just have it projected.
I actually have plans for making one of those.
Really?
Yep.
I'd be more. Hey, let me know. I'm more than willing to give you a hand with anything regarding that, because I think that's pretty cool to pull off something like that, and I think that it opens up a whole world of different possibilities, because then you can just pull up anything right from the computer, and you can even have the background or the battle music or any kind of music being played right from the speakers coming right out of there too.
And you can do Fog of War on a lot of those if you use certain programs and things like that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's some really cool stuff you can do, and it's something I am considering at some point. It may not be until we move that I actually do that, because it's a big piece of furniture. I mean, the one I've got plans for is super intense. I mean, it's got like plugs for people's computers and tablets and stuff, so that you can charge things, and it actually has it's actually has the table in a sunken thing, and then you put like the like foam padding over top of it, so you can do other things like play board games and stuff on top of it. And then on top of that, there's actually slats that you put down that cover the sunken part of the table, and you can actually use it as a regular table as well.
That's what I'm talking about. I've seen people post their projects of their D&D tables that can be converted like that.
Yep.
And they just look so amazing, and like it has so many different things that you can be done with it. And if
years
need
ago,
need any help with it, I'm more than interested in giving you a hand with that.
No, sure. Years ago, there was a company that was actually working on a prototype of something like that, and the screen was actually touch activated, and they had special figs, so that the figs all had like something in them, so that when you put it down, it actually would track your movement and everything. And like
cool.
they even showed like they took this like large dragon fig and put it down, and it actually went like this little like thing went out as they put it down, like a wave.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
That's pretty cool.
So, all right. Well, thanks a lot for coming out, guys. Thanks to anyone that came by, hung out with us even for a little bit. We are at 46 followers now, I believe, 45 or 46, depending on which thing I look at. So if we can get 4 or 5 more, I'd say 5 more just to be safe. We do get affiliate status, gives us a bunch of like some cool stuff we can do for our viewers and stuff, and I believe it lets our videos stay up for a little longer on Twitch. So, but yeah, so come on back, join us tomorrow night for me and Russ doing Nerds with Alcohol show, and then we'll be back here with Tavern. We'll be back here. We'll see if we're gonna do a Tavern Talk in 2 weeks. Not having a game, we may skip that one, so we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you later on.
Good night.
Good night.